To explain this, Panzer as a word simply means armour. The full title of a vehicle like that is Pz.Kpfw. Kampf is war, Wagen is vehicle, so it's an armoured war or fighting. Entered service with the German army in the late 30s. They were used in small numbers during operations in France in 1940, and then became key tanks in the fighting in the West. Quite a considerable influence. There's one quite remarkable thing about these German tanks, and that is their ability to improve. Now, the model you're looking at kept pace with developments that were going on elsewhere. In fact, I told you that thing was going to fire, it's just done it. And they kept pace with developments elsewhere, but what they managed to achieve was to do all this without actually the difference is that whereas the Panzer III has a turret which rotates and can fire in all directions, the StuG has a gun which points out the front, and if they want to fire left or right, apart from within a few degrees either side, the whole vehicle has to turn. They were designed originally with short howitzer-type guns for supporting infantry attacks. Latterly, things they had developed. That's not an uncommon trait. Now, as the StuG comes up behind the Panzer III, you'll notice, you can count the wheels, you can see that pretty well everything below the turret level is identical. They're both basically the same vehicle, configured in slightly different ways. Just getting back to the StuG, it was part of a cargo of a ship called the Santa Fe, which was proceeding across the Black Sea towards the Crimea to reinforce the German army there. The ship was torpedoed by a Russian submarine. It sank, and that vehicle was dredged up and a self-propelled gun using the same chassis. The Germans were great exponents of this, although this one's a Panzer III, there were versions on the slightly larger Panzer IV chassis as well. They are now being joined in the arena by the tank which I think is the star of our show, and that is our big Tiger I, turret number 131, which I think more people come to see in this museum than just about anything else we've got, much to my dismay. This particular tank was captured by British forces following an action in Tunisia in 1943. It was fighting against Churchill tanks of the 48th Royal Tank Regiment. It had a couple of glancing blows, leaving us with a complete Tiger tank. The tank was then taken to Tunis, where His Majesty King George listened, and like Schnook at the end of the First World War, it spent a little while on Horse Guards Parade for our people to admire. It was then taken to Chertsey in Surrey, where they took it to bits to try and find out how it was made, and then finally came in here. It's been followed around the arena, by the way, by two German half-tracks, armoured half-tracks, the little 250 recce vehicle and the big 251 to put the thing back together again to send it into action. The gun is an 88mm weapon, adapted originally from an anti-aircraft gun, highly accurate, coupled to very good quality optics, something the Germans always had, and it frankly meant probably destroy. People were more American, Pole, French, Russians, anybody who had to face that tank had very good reason to be fearful of it. Luckily there weren't that many of them. The armour on the front, 101mm stick, so it's easy to resist most incoming rounds. And in fact, more of them I seem to think broke down for one reason or another than ever actually got knocked out by Allied tanks. That would be quite an event when that happened. The metal running across the bottom of the tank. And they both use the same system. It's just that because of the extra weight of the Tiger, they're using bigger wheels and they're overlapping them and interleaving them to carry the weight. You don't need that. There's another machine gun in the hull front. So you've got 5 men in there, driver, hull machine gunner who would also work the radio, and 3 men in the turret gun, and the recoil effect of firing it, the tank can only fire at the halt. You wouldn't fire on the move with a Tiger, you'd wreck it. So that's worth going about. In fact, this recoil business, that's worth talking about quickly. When the gun fires, there is what they call an equal and positive reaction. The thing recoils back into the turret. Everyone has to stay right in their place. You get in the way of that gun coming back, and there's no mercy, it swallows you. So you sit in your seat and you stay there. The force of that recoil is transmitted. It's a practice that's virtually died out now. Everyone now has engine, gearbox and everything else situated in the back. Now the little 250 followed by the 251, the 2 half-tracks. They're both armoured vehicles, quite light armoured vehicles, naval versions of one sort or another. unlike the very sophisticated, they had needle roller bearings and cost a fortune to make. Very hard to find any spare ones now. You wonder how they managed to keep these vehicles going, because if you just go up and sort of attack them with a penknife, then it will be much of a problem. But actually, track wear can be a considerable problem with in tank design, because it's under such a tremendous stress. The difference being the Sherman can, on a good day, actually fire on the move. By this time, they invented some fairly simple stabilisers, which they operate in company with others. At the very least, you'd expect to find a troop of them. Rotating turret and the Tiger as well, they're both mechanically operated turrets, and in both cases there's what you call a turret floor, so that the crew are carried round in and scurry round afterwards. Both tanks rely on conventional telescopic sights in order to acquire their target. They have no range finders or anything like that, not in those days. It was a lot of skill involved. But what I was going to say, and I think this is the factor that people overlook, because these tanks do not fight one against one, as if it was some sort of Western gun type of duel, what you actually get are large numbers using one another. And this is where the Sherman's got the edge. As I said earlier, there were something like 50,000 Shermans built altogether. Now, they weren't all in the same place at the same time, but had the Shermans to spare. We had the 5 and then some. And that's, in the end, what makes the difference. And that's done by mass production as much as anything else. The Tiger is a very sophisticated piece of machinery, very labour-intensive to build, and, of course, don't forget, we were popping over there and bombing the 7 bells out of their factories all the time anyway, so production was always handy. It's a tiny little machine, basically a half-tracked motorcycle. And it belongs to the museum, but it was restored privately for it. And it's a tiny little half-track. It looks a bit like a motorbike. It's got the front forks and handlebars of a motorbike. It's really a little half-track. The driver sits there on a conventional saddle. He's got room for 2 infantry in and a little settee at the back, and it would often pull a little trailer. The idea, of course, was to make it part of the airborne forces, but the parachute regiments of the German army didn't see much airborne action after the disaster they suffered at Crete. So most of these things were used on the ground. That particular one was captured in North Africa. It's powered by an NSU car engine, and they really are a delightful little thing to play with. If you ever wanted to get into owning a track vehicle, it's something about that size which is the handy thing to have. And they're great fun just to muck about with. You can't go really fast or really far in it, but just the sort of caddying about at events like this takes a lot of beating to whiz around in your little Ketton van.
Oh, the big stuff.
Come in, I'm going to picture it going.
Now they move Tiger without it.
Hey, fixed the tank.
You fixed it? What'd you do?
Right, my man.
Where's that?